So at this point, we're probably all familiar with the storage compartments on the Tacoma. We got some underneath the back seat, we got some behind the back seat, and we got a couple in the bed of the truck here. This is what it looks like underneath my back seat. This is some of the stuff that I keep in here. I have the air hose in here for my gooseneck hitch. That's where I keep it. I got some ratchet straps that are underneath there. I got an extra pair of gloves just in case. I have a lockout tool and a Slim Jim in there. That's from my tow truck driving days. Here's a wedge that you can put in there in the door in order to help get it unlocked. I got a pair of flip-flops in here because I've had flip-flops come apart on me while I'm out and about. So I keep a spare in here just in case. Behind this seat here, I have my tow strap and 4x4 recovery stuff there. And then over on this side, I have a toolbox. This is from Harbor Freight. This is just some foam in here to keep it from shifting and moving around. Keeps it quiet back here. I just wanted something that I could always have some basic tools with me. Yeah, it's Harbor Freight, not the greatest brand in the world, but they have lifetime warranties. So it works for my purposes, and I have used this a lot when I forget to bring tools, so that helps. So we also have the two cubbies in the bed. There's one there, and there's a smaller one on this side because my particular Tacoma has the outlet right here. And I don't actually keep anything in this one. I do keep gooseneck ball in this cubby. I just took some foam and used some great stuff to glue it together, and it holds it in there, kind of keeps it quiet back here. But the biggest reason why I don't keep anything in these cubbies, like my ratchet straps, I would love to keep my ratchet straps in here, but I don't keep them in here because you can see how dirty it is. And this one's even worse. So I think that one looks a little cleaner because the ball moves around and kind of cleans the bottom side, but it's quite dirty in there. And I even have a tonneau cover on my truck. This is a fold-to-cover G4 Elite. There will be a link up here if you want to go check out that video. As far as the cubbies go, I found a thread on Tacoma World. I found a guy that like 3D prints things to seal up those holes. So what we're actually doing today is I got another storage box or toolbox that we're going to check out. If you're not familiar, there's a box, it's called, I believe it's from Undercover, called a SwingCase. So it kind of is the shape of this back wheel well here, and it kind of goes in that corner, and it'll swing out or whatever, and you can put stuff in there. So that's a Undercover SwingCase. But that one runs about $200 on Amazon. So this one that I found on Amazon it says Luca SNG truck bed storage box. It literally looks identical to the Undercover SwingCase. It just doesn't have the badging on it, and it was $115 on Amazon. So there's a pretty significant savings. It just doesn't say Undercover on it or SwingCase. So I haven't even, all I did was like kind of open the flaps and kind of just glance in here, but I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. Styrofoam like this is pretty thick. It's probably like 1 inch thick. A lot of times I will hold on to this because I will sometimes find things to do with it. So stuff like this I'll usually hold on to because there's usually some pretty good uses for it. The toolbox is pretty much the height of this box, which is like waist height, it looks like. So there it is right there. Got a lock on top of it, just like the SwingCase. It still has a tray in here, just like the SwingCase. And then we got the mounting brackets and the tools. So this is going to be the further back bracket to go on the back edge. And then this will be the forward bracket. I got the one for the passenger side. I didn't want to block the driver's side because I have my air hose connection on that side, so I didn't want the toolbox blocking it. It probably wouldn't have been a big deal, but I decided to get the passenger side. We also only got one key for the lock. I feel like most things would come with at least 2 keys. All right, between playing with it and then finding a video on it, which was a good video, I think we got this figured out. This first bracket's pretty easy to figure out. And then this bracket will go something like this over here. Before I just bolt it on, I'm going to get this one in place and then figure out where this is supposed to be. I should be able to get a pretty good idea where this is supposed to be. So this selection of bits is very helpful for doing things like this and many other projects. I'll leave a link in the description if you need a whole bunch of these bits. So this screw right here is a T30 Torx bit. And before we use this, we'll go ahead and put in hearing protection because I don't want my tinnitus to get worse. I'm just using Surefire earplugs if you're curious. Nothing fancy. If you don't know what tinnitus is, it's constant ringing in the ears. So no matter what I'm doing, I always have ringing in my ears. Sometimes it's so loud that it keeps me awake at night. So whatever you do, protect your hearing. Now that this bolt is in, we can put these other ones in. It comes with these self-tapping bolts. It'll drill a hole and thread itself in. If these end up backing out, what I can always do is I can probably go in here and put some actual bolts with nuts on the back side. But that's what we're going to use for now. I'm going to use a ratchet just to make sure that they're tight. I don't want to go too tight because it'd probably be pretty easy to pull out these threads. To allow the swing case to engage into the closing latch, I was checking to see if the bolts had to be here or here, because there's I guess there's 2 positions that this could be in. One where it's slightly covering this door and one where it's not. It looks like it actually has to slightly cover the door. I don't know why they would do that. All they'd have to do is just make the latch just a little bit longer, and then it would be, you'd be able to mount it here and mount it out of the way. Yeah. I'm not the designer of this, but kind of dumb to me. So yeah, that's one of the frustrating things is all they had to do is just make this locking handle longer, and then they could just mount it in a way that it doesn't block this. I can still get it out, but that's just stupid. I say maybe that's different for the guys with short beds, but I don't think that this is changed in the 5-foot beds. I think it's ahead of the wheel well that gets shortened and not this back here. So I don't think that would have an effect on it. So there's also rubber bumpers that are right in here, right in between the hinge. They are making it a little bit difficult to close, but I'm sure that they'll break in. So you get to here, and now it's like putting pressure on it. So I just got to push it the rest of the way. And it latches into place. I will need to move my tie down because, as you can see, it hits my tie down. Now the way that the box is set up, it opens kind of towards the outside, which you kind of got to go over in order to get into it if you're going to get it to it from this side. You could switch this around. It is made so that it can open either way. This box is obviously made the same for both sides. It just depends on really this bracket and where they rivet stuff to. So like this plate would just be riveted on this side and a different handle. So, I mean, most of it's pretty universal. They just put it together depending on which side it's supposed to be for. So you could flip this lid around to have it open inward if you want to get it to it from the side. But then if you swing it out like this, then it would be opening towards me. So with it opening this way, it would block if you're trying to get to it from the over the side of the truck. But if you swing it out towards you, then it opens up towards you and you can access it this way. You just have to decide which way you are going to access it most. For now, I'm going to leave it like this. If I find that I'd rather go over the side, then I can always switch the lid around and have it open the other way. But yeah, for now, I'm going to leave it like this. The case lifts off from the hinge, and then you can take it out of the bed of your truck if you need it to have it out of the truck. Or if you want to take your tools to your workstation, you could do that. If you had a bunch of tools in here, that'd probably be pretty heavy. This is pretty decent size. But the best thing that I can see is removing it from the bed of your truck so that you can have more room in your truck if you need that. And then to keep people from trying to steal whatever's in here, it's got a lock on here, and you can lock it. And that's actually really nice. This cover on top is actually metal. It looks like it's probably aluminum, but it's actually metal. I would think that they just put a rubber cover on here. So that's cool that it's metal. It's very cool. So you can lock this in order to keep people from getting into it, but they'd still be able to steal it by opening it up and lifting it off. So what they did is they have a little tab here so you can put a padlock on there so they wouldn't be able to open this up and then lift it off the hinge and steal it. I have a tonneau cover on here and my tailgate locks. I installed an electric tailgate lock in my truck. It's one from Toyota. If you're interested in that, of course, I'll put a link up here. Go and check that out. I bought it off from Amazon. They have one for a short wheelbase and a long wheelbase. So I have a locking tailgate. That locks when I lock the doors. The tonneau cover also locks. And then I also have 2 ways that I can secure this on top of it. So there's lots of ways in order to secure this. So I definitely think I'm going to like it. I got it loaded up with what I think I want in there for now. And if you are interested in more Tacoma videos, go ahead and check out the Tacoma playlist. There's a bunch of stuff that I've done in there to my truck, including lift and the tires that I have on my truck, and all that stuff is in there. So I guess that does it for this Tacoma video. Go ahead and subscribe for more Tacoma videos as well as other DIY projects that I do around the house. And we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.